Hello students, good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, audible.
In last class, yeah, good morning. In last class, we have done this one, which complete bipartite graph or complete only K2, which becomes the complete bipartite graph, right? So we need to do this one, right? Now, uh, this is prove that two graphs are isomorphic if and only if their complements are isomorphic. How to prove? And by using definition, you can prove it. Yes, when you say two graphs are isomorphic, tell me, anybody? When do you say two graphs are isomorphic?
When there is one to one relation and adjacency.
Mehika, you are not audible clearly. So if there exists one-to-one correspondence, which preserves the adjacency condition, right? That means if there exists an isomorphism. Okay, so we'll start with this one and we'll use definition. Definition are always if and only if case, right? We'll start with this one and then we'll prove this one. Okay, so if G and H are isomorphic, means to say there exists an isomorphism, and suppose this isomorphism is phi. This phi is from vertex set of G to vertex set of H, and that will preserve the adjacency, right? So this means this is bijection and preserving the adjacency. Isomorphism means, right? Now you want to show that there exists some isomorphism between G complement and H complement, right? So if uh, there exists this is a bijection between Vg and Vs, so the same met will be bijection from Vg complement to Vh. Can you say this? From Vg complement to Vh complement, the same met will be working as bijection. And why is it so?
And because in complement and its graph vertices are same.
Yes, vertices are same, so phi will be, I can replace Vg with Vg complement, right? From this to this, right? And Vh with Vh complement. And this will be again bijection because we have just noted this as differently, right? These sets we have just written as differently, right? So this is bijection. Need to prove just this thing, preserving adjacency condition. Adjacency condition preservance, this we need to prove. So how you will prove this? What do we mean by adjacency condition? When it phi preserves adjacency. What do we mean by that? For any two vertices from Vg, if u and v are adjacent in G graph, right? If uv are adjacent, that means uv is an edge in G graph, then their images means phi u, phi v, right? Phi u and phi v, they will be adjacent in the other graph, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That means the adjacency condition, this if and only if actually, right? Now, whenever these are adjacent in G, what can you say about in G complement? For any two vertices, these two vertices are also present in G complement, right? Because of same vertex set, this VG and VG complement is same. These will not be adjacent, right? In G complement. So you can say UV is not adjacent in G complement, right? And what about phi u, phi v in H complement? These will be not adjacent, right? And there is if and only if condition. So I can write this as it is. And this is equivalent to saying phi u, phi v, phi u, phi v is not adjacent in H complement. Clear? Yes?
ma'am.
Now this is actually not adjacency. Yeah. Now this means adjacency. Adjacency condition becomes non-adjacency condition. And if any two vertices are non-adjacent over here, if and only if their images will be non-adjacent here under phi, right? And those non-adjacency condition will become adjacency over here. Did you get that? So this way, phi will be working as bijection plus preserving adjacency in G complement and H complement both.
Ma'am, repeat that non-adjacency wala part.
Okay, I'm just showing you everything. Yeah, this means bijection between the H complement and G complement, right? Now, phi is preserving the adjacency and non-adjacency condition in G and H complement means to say this one, right? If two vertices in G are adjacent, G are forming an S, their images will forming an edge in H, right? And if any two vertices are not adjacent, their images will be not adjacent in H, right? So these condition is this above one. This first one is adjacency, and this means non-adjacency, right? Preserves adjacency and non-adjacency condition, right? Now, what do I mean by this one? When UV is adjacent in G, they will not be adjacent in G complement. This one, and phi U, phi V is adjacent in H, then this will not be adjacent in H complement. And what about this to this? If non-adjacent in G, then it will be adjacent in G complement, and this is if and only if case. And this one is equivalent to saying these are adjacent in phi U, phi V, adjacent in H complement. This will be H complement. Okay. So what do you understand by this? What do you put up from this equation 3 and 4? Phi is working as isomorphism, right? Bijection over here. If you take this bijection plus these two equation 3 and 4, this gives you phi is also working in isomorphism between G complement and H complement. Got it? From 1 and 2, we got 3 and 4 by using the complement definition just, right? And if you are applying this complement definition, then you are getting the adjacency and non-adjacency in G complement and as well as H complement. So this bijection condition and these two conditions, these two equation makes phi as isomorphism between G complement and H complement. Means to say the same map which was working in isomorphism in G and H, that will work as isomorphism in G complement and H complement. Okay. So hence, what we got? These two graphs are same, right? Same means isomorphism. Isomorphic graph. Clear? Is there any doubt?
Ma'am, that adjacency wala part, I didn't get it. Like non-adjacency, you said that point. Ma'am, can you explain that part again?
Okay. See, what do you understand by isomorphism?
Bijection should be there and adjacency should be there.
Adjacency should be there, right? UV is an adjacent in G. If and only if you apply phi on U, you are getting the points in H, right? The images will be present in H now. So phi U, phi V will be adjacent in. So if you are confused between U and V non-adjacent over here, you can replace it with Y, X and Y. For some element, for any two vertices, XY is not adjacent in G, then their images will not be adjacent in H.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear? Got it? Means whenever two elements U and V are adjacent over here in Z, in H their images will be adjacent, right? In H their images phi U, phi V, these will be adjacent, and if these are not adjacent, their images are not adjacent. So this means the adjacency and non-adjacency condition, and this map is preserving this condition. If means adjacent in this G, their images will be adjacent, and non-adjacent means their images will not be adjacent, right? Now look at this first equation and just try to convert in complement. What do you understand by complement? UV is an as in G, then it will not be an as in complement.
Yes, ma'am.
So this we got. Okay, first equation implying this one, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now this is equivalent to saying, so we can just say it only. Yeah, phi U, phi V adjacent in H, so they will not be adjacent in complement. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is just you are applying the complement definition. Then this second definition. Second definition means they are not adjacent. You can just take xy and phi x, phi y. Then it will be xy will be adjacent in G complement. If and only if phi x, phi y will be adjacent in this one. So what do you understand by this one? What do you got? This phi, this function actually preserving the non-adjacency, means adjacency condition in H and G becomes the non-adjacency in G complement and H complement, and here this non-adjacency become the adjacency in their complements. Right? This is again preserving, phi is again preserving the non-adjacency and adjacency in H complement and G complement. Is that clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's why phi was already bijection. So bijection plus this condition gives you isomorphism, and that's why we got G complement and H complement as isomorphic graph. Is there any other doubt anyone having? Clear?
No.
Now, there are two ways to show this G and H are isomorphic. Any two graphs if you are given and it is asked that determine whether these are isomorphic or not. If it is isomorphic, everything, all the properties will be same, right? So you can redraw one graph such that will form the other one, and then you can define the map if all the structural property are same. Okay. And if some property is not same, then this will not be isomorphic. Okay. Another thing is, if G and H are complement, means complicated graph, somewhat complicated graph, you can go for complements of G and H. Draw the complement of G and complement of H. Okay, and check whether these are isomorphic or not. Okay. Check whether these are isomorphic or not. If these are isomorphic, then you can say G and H are isomorphic, because we have done the same isomorphism, same map will work for both one, right? So G and H are same if and only if their complements are same. Clear? So it's up to you now which way you will follow, which technique you will follow. Okay. Now we have proved you can use this result. Now this was done.
No, ma'am.
Not yet done. Okay. Yeah. Try it. Prove or disprove. If every vertex of a simple graph has degree 2, then G is a cycle. If this statement is true, you need to prove in general. And if it is false, you can just give one counterexample, one example that is not that in which the statement doesn't hold. Okay. Counterexample means that satisfy this. This is P implies Q actually, right? That satisfy Q, P, but not satisfy Q. That will work as counterexample. Okay, that means You need to give a graph, simple graph, such that every vertex in that has degree 2. Degree you already know, the number of incident vertex, the number of incident edges to a vertex is known as its degree. Tell me, this is true or false?
True.
This is true. You need to prove it. Everybody is agreed that this statement is true. Yeah. Anyone else? If you agree, then prove it. Are you getting a graph G in which every vertex has degree 2? That is always a cycle. Is it true? Yes?
Yes, ma'am. True.
I prove it. Sure, everyone? Make sure here simple graph is written. It's not written that it have to be connected or disconnected. Now you tell me. Is it true?
I'm connected, then true.
It's connected, then it's true. Yeah, I agree. What about disconnected?
And then if it is disconnected, then it is not a cyclic.
Not a cycle, right? It will be a cyclic graph, but not a cycle. Cycle means it is of form Cn, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
So give me that counter example. And as this is asking for in general, so you will include both connectedness and disconnectedness both, right? So in general, this statement is not true. You can take any disconnected graph. Tell me one example.
P4, P5,
Yeah,
P,
P4 or C4?
P from potato.
Path, right?
Yes, ma'am, path graph.
So this is your P4 and P5 union with P5. Is this even satisfying the speech statement?
No, ma'am.
No. Your degree is not 2, na?
Yes,
Always.
ma'am.
So what you can do? You can take C4 and C5. Now it's 2, right? A graph consisting of C4 union C5 or C3 union C4 means any two cycles. 2 C3 you can take, right? Here, this is satisfying. Every two vertices are having degree 2, but we don't have a cycle, right? Here 6 vertices are present. If it would be cycle, then C6, it have to be C6, isomorphic to C6, but it's not. Yeah? If this statement is given as if every vertex of a simple connected graph, then it will be always true. Okay? If it is written as connected, then it's true.
Ma'am, if
boundary
it
gap.
is written disconnected, then how it is to be has degree 2? So it is not written connected or disconnected, because the every disconnected graph doesn't have a degree 2 every time.
Every disconnected graph doesn't have degree 2, but I'm just saying you will prove or you will analyze for all those type of graphs which are satisfying P statement but does not satisfy Q. P statement is this one. You will take though means this statement is only for all those graphs which are having degree 2 for all the vertices. Degree of V in G for all V in vertex V in the graph G, okay, for all the vertices, if degree 2, then G is a cycle. This is asking about this one. Means in short, you can prove this statement. Okay, you can assume this statement, this one. So there are many disconnected graphs now which are not satisfying Q statement. Agreed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, G can be connected, G can be disconnected. For connected, it is satisfying, but it is also involving this type of graph, na, where degree 2, 2, 2, 2, here also degree 2, 2, 2. But this graph is not C7, right? Not isomorphic to C7. If it would be isomorphic to C7, then it would have been connected, na? I hope no doubt now. Yeah, here I have written. This our result will be true if you are given only connected graph. Okay. This was done, I think, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Decomposition, and I think this one is also done. Eighth question. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Determine the maximum size of a clique. Yeah. First, I need to clear one thing. Whenever you are talking about set, okay, set, their size you can find, or in some books you will find order, or in some books you will find the number of element or cardinality. All are same thing, okay, for a set. But for a graph, size is number of edges, order is number of vertices. Clear? For a set, everything is same, okay, but for a graph these are different. Yeah, now you tell me about 11, question number 11. Determine the maximum size of a clique. And what do you understand by clique over here? Clique I defined on the second day.
Pairwise adjacent vertices.
One set of vertices having adjacency condition.
Set of vertices having edges between every two vertices, right? That is, in short, pairwise adjacent, right? Clear? The set of all pairwise adjacent vertices. That is known as clique. And what do you understand by here the maximum size of an independent set? Independent set. Tell me about independent set.
No adjacent vertices.
A set of non-adjacent vertices. Pairwise non-adjacent vertices. So this is the graph given. This one. That you need to find how many maximum number of elements can a clique have. Okay, and same for independent set. the largest clique. Cardinality of largest clique.
4.
4. How many such cliques are present over here?
1.
On which one? Tell me.
B.
B,
F.
F,
D.
D,
C.
C. So here BF is adjacent, BC is adjacent, CD, FD. What about BD? Adjacent, right? Via this edge. So this one. Anything else?
Yes,
Only
ma'am.
one click? One
No,
such
ma'am.
click?
Yes, ma'am.
There are two
On
more,
A,
right?
B,
A, B, E, D also, because this edge is BD, that is working for this one. And also you can take B, E, F, D, right? So there are three such clique are present, three largest clique are present, and the cardinality, it is asking just cardinality, so cardinality will be 4, right? Right? Cardinality of, that is maximum size of the clique in this graph is 4. Understood? Now, why are you written here as K4 is the subset and K5 is not the subset, that is subgraph. K4 is the subgraph of G, but K5 is not the subgraph of G. And from here only, I concluded that maximum size of the clique is 4. If you look at the clique is just set of pairwise adjacent vertices. Na? And what is happening in Kn? K2 adjacent, 2 vertices, both are adjacent, right? K3, 3 vertices, pairwise adjacent, right? K4, 4 vertices, pairwise adjacent. Clear? K5, 5
yes,
vertices, pairwise adjacent. So clique is same as having all the vertices of Kn, right? So maximum size of just try to find Kn for maximum n, largest n, right? That is the subgraph of that is present in G. Okay, subgraph of G. And how will you say this is the maximum? Because next K5, that is next Kn is not present, right? So that's why this is the maximum size. Clear? So you can always check for Kn, the largest n, for size of maximum size of clique. Okay, all the vertices of Kn will form the clique. And now independent set.
2.
2. Which one? And how many independent set of this cardinality, 2 cardinality exist?
One example is B to D, BD.
BD, is it? BD
No,
we had
ma'am.
here.
No, ma'am.
No, no,
AF,
no. B.
AAC, and EC.
Yes.
B is adjacent to all of these actually. So A, C,
F.
right?
A,
A, F, E, E, C. Okay? E, C, A, F, A, C. Clear? And the maximum size is just 2, right?
2.
All these are this one. Next is, this one was done? No, not yet done. Prove that the complement of the graph G is isomorphic to H. Complement of the graph G. G is this one. You need to find G complement, right? First, and then check whether G complement is isomorphic to H or not. If you want to see two graphs are isomorphic or not very quickly, then just try to check whether you are able to draw one graph which same as the other one. Okay? Yes? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First try to find G complement and check whether it is. Can you redraw this G complement which will be same as H or not? And how to find this G complement? You can look at the adjacency condition from A. A is adjacent to E, B, and D. So this will be not adjacent in complement, right? In G complement, this will be adjacent with A with E, A with F, right? In G complement, the adjacency condition will be with A, it will be F, right? G, H, C. Clear? Understood? Similarly, B will be adjacent with E, G, H, D. Okay? E, G, H, and D. Similarly, C will be adjacent with these, and these will be adjacent, right? Clear? Like this, you can calculate all the adjacency condition, means which edge will be present in G complement, and then you can redraw the graph G complement. In fact, if you try to take this A, B, E, F as it is, then it will be more complicated. For example, in this graph only I can draw it. In this one only I can draw it. So that is, this A will be adjacent to F, A will be adjacent to H, A will be adjacent to C, A will be adjacent to G, right? Similarly, with B, B with E, let me change the color. B will be adjacent with this one, this one, this one, this one. Okay? Then D will be adjacent with E, G, D, that is F, and B. And that is already adjacent. No? Why I am again drawing this? Yeah, with this one, it is already, right? What about C? It will be adjacent with, tell me, C will be adjacent with F, H, E, right? And E and G, F and H. Clear? E and Z, F and H. This will be your complement. And this you can redraw same as H graph. How? By using just adjacency these conditions. You can redraw, that will look like this one. Okay, I have renamed this A, B, replace this G with B, B with G, okay, E with F. So this graph you can redraw that this one, right? And that is same as H. I hope it is clear. Is by looking at the adjacency condition only, and by looking at the H graph, I I have drawn G complement that will be same as, that will be satisfying all the adjacency condition in complement, and that will be looking like same as H. Okay. Now, which map you will define so that that map will become the isomorphism? The corresponding vertex goes to corresponding vertex, right? This is your G complement. One is going to tell me. I will define the map. Yes. Have you defined the map? One is going to A, right? Who is going to G? 5 and 6, F and D. 8 and 7, H and B. Similarly, 4 and 3, C and D. And as you can see, adjacency is also we have taken care of because of corresponding going to corresponding. As we have redrawn this graph now, obviously this will be isomorphic and the corresponding edges as well as corresponding vertex will be mapped. Clear? 1 1 on 2 bijection, right? That's here I have defined it. So its complement, G complement is isomorphic to H. Is there any doubt? Understood? Isomorphism. Okay, before going to our 10th question, we can actually do this isomorphism part. 16. Determine whether these graphs are isomorphic or not. Yes? Anybody? Check whether these graphs are isomorphic or not.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you say?
Yes,
What
ma'am.
do you say? M, right? Connectedness, the number of subgraphs, right? Particular subgraph, particular number, degree of every vertex, many property you check. And if all match, then you try to define a map that will be preserving, that will be 1 1 on 2, obviously bijection, and that will preserve the adjacency condition. Right? That will preserve the edges, right? Corresponding edges. So everyone agreed that G and H are isomorphic? Sure?
Yeah.
They are not isomorphic. These are looking like complicated graph, right? So you can go for complements of G and H. Or in fact, here you can see, here it is number of vertices same 8, number of edges same, degree is 5 each vertex, it is same. Connectiveness not bipartite, right? Almost all the property matches, but there is one thing that is not matching. Many more properties are not matching, but I'm just giving you one thing. That is, it contains C8 one outside, right? One is this C8 outside as a subgraph. Another one is you start with this vertex, come back to this one, then you can come back to this one, this one, this one, this one. So what do you got? C8 again, right? So two C8 are present in this graph, and here one is outside C8 that is present. What about this one? If you start with this one, Go to this one. No, right? What else? You can go to this one, then this one, C4, and C4 again in diagonals, right? So here only one C8 is present. Okay, and if these are looking as complicated, you can go for the complement of G and H. So what will be the complement? How it will look like? This G complement will be, I'm just drawing the complement. See, in G it is adjacent to this vertex, and this vertex, and this vertex. So in G complement, it will be adjacent to this vertex, this one no, this one no, this one no, this vertex, and not this one, not this one. What about this one? It will be adjacent to this vertex, and it will be adjacent to this one. Okay, this one. This will be adjacent to this one. This will be adjacent to this one, and this is also adjacent to this one. What do you got? This one. What do you got? Is there any other adjacency condition in its complement? No. No other edges left, right? So its complement will be C4, another C4. So G complement is giving you 2C4. Clear? What about H complement? H complement will not be adjacent to this one, not be adjacent. Will be adjacent to this one. Will be adjacent to this one. Okay? Now this one will be adjacent to this, adjacent to this. Okay? Adjacent to this one, okay? This is adjacent to this one, and this is adjacent to which one? This one, no, this one. This is adjacent to this one. This is adjacent to this one. What do you got here? Is this 2C4? The complement of this graph is this one. Actually, what do you got? Start with this vertex, going to this one, 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 and end at this one. What is this? H complement is C8. Can you say G complement and H complement are isomorphic? Yes? Can you say these are isomorphic? Hello?
No, ma'am.
No, these are not isomorphic. And we have done one result that G and H are isomorphic if and only if their complements are isomorphic, right? Means non-isomorphic if and only if their isomorphic are no, their complements are not isomorphic, right? So their complements are not isomorphic. That's why these graphs are not isomorphic. Or you can just say the graph G has two number of C8 that we have already discussed, and the H has only one C8, not other. Okay, that's why some property does not match. These are not isomorphic. Clear? Yes? Yes, everybody? Clear?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
this is your exercise. Actually, assignment part, the one and only one assignment. Determine whether which pair of graphs below are isomorphic. G1, G2, G3. You need to determine whether G1, G2 isomorphic or not, G2, G3 isomorphic or not, and G1, G3 are isomorphic or not. Okay, so just take this screenshot or you can refer to the book, question number 18. Clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Then or not? Not
Yes,
small.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we are left with one question, that is this one, question number 10. Prove or disprove the complement of a simple disconnected graph must be connected. Before going to this question, can you say if G is connected, then its complement will be disconnected? I'm just saying G is connected given. Okay. Can you say this implies its complement will be disconnected? Is it always true? Or this statement is what? G is disconnected, then complement will be connected. G is disconnected, then the converse of this one. Okay, kind of converse. Then its complement is connected. Out of this statement, are these both true? One, this first true, second false, second false, first true, or both are false? Tell me. Yes. Can you say in general, if G is connected, G complement will be always disconnected? Yes?
No, ma'am.
Give me your example.
Ma'am, if we consider P3,
P3 it will be disconnected. P4 it will work. Okay, P3 complement of P3 will be disconnected. So that is an example for this one, but counter example is P4, that is, or you can say C5 is also working, right? P4 complement is again P4 and both are connected, right? But here we
ma'am,
wanted
how
P4. Its
P3,
complement will be
P3.
P3. P3 is an example for this one. That P3 is connected, but uh, its complement is disconnected, right? So this is your P3, and its complement will be this one. Okay, this is your P3 and its complement. If connected, then disconnected. This is an example for this one. Is it happening for all the graph? Then it will become the statement, right? Now, you can take C5. C5 complement is again star, right? Star part. That is again connected. P4. P4 complement is again P4. C5 and P4 both are self-complementary graph, right? The complements are again
P4
C5
and
and
P5 are not example, no?
these are counter example for this statement. That's why this statement in general it is not true. Clear?
Draw the graph of P4 and P4 complement. This is
P4
P4 and
complement. P4 complement will be these two vertices will be adjacent. Okay, here will be adjacent, and this one diagonal will be there. Right? This is again P4. Right? It's complement, but it is again isomorphic to P4. And what about C5? C5 is this one, right? And its complement will be this is adjacent to this one, adjacent to this one, this one, this one, this star part. Okay, this one is your C5 complement, and this is isomorphic to again C5. And we are having this is connected, both are connected. Is that clear now?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what about the converse statement? Converse, or you can just say second statement. If G is disconnected, then what can you say about the statement? Its complement will be always connected. See, connected के part में तो हमने देख लिया. G complement may not be disconnected, right? We have some examples which are countering it. Okay. So that statement is not true. If G is disconnected, what about its complement? Will be always connected. Okay, this is true. You can take any graph. Disconnected graph means it will be having two or more component, two or more part of G, right? Union with this one, right? Here, suppose this is a first part of G, this is second part of G. Okay, here we have some vertices, some edges. Okay, and here we have some other edge. Clear? Edges and vertices. So this is one part of G, this is another part. As G is disconnected, there will be U and V which are not connected. At least two vertices will be there. These are not connected. Clear? Means to say UV path is not there. Okay. Connectedness means what? Connectedness means what? Every two vertices are connected by some path. But here disconnected means there will be at least two vertices which are not connected, means in which there is no path. If there is no path, can there be an edge? No, right? If these are not connected, obviously this is not an edge in G. Understood? Yes, U and V is not an edge in G. What about in G complement? U and V will be an edge in G complement. This is not an edge, so in G complement it will be an edge. Okay? If all the vertices are happening like this in G, all the vertices are disconnected, so you can just say these will be connected in G complement. Okay? Clear? Yes. So this will be adjacent to this one in complement. This will be adjacent to this one, and same for these two vertices. But what about these? In same part, if I pick up any two element U and X from the same part of G, then these are adjacent. In complement, they will not be adjacent, but there is some vertex Y to which both will be adjacent, right? This will be also adjacent and this will be also adjacent. Then in complement, we have U to V and V to X, there is a path. Clear? P3. This to this and this to this. In complement. So that's why every two vertices are connected in its complement. That's why we are done. Right? That is, obviously, it will be connected. That means we have taken the disconnected graph, simple graph, and we will show that its complement is connected. Okay, so G is a simple disconnected graph. Means to say there are some vertices which are not having any path, which are not connected. Okay, no U to V path. If no U to V path, means to say no U to V edge. That's why U to V edge in present in its complement. In G it is not present, so in its complement part it will be present, right? And for any XY, like this, if you have this one, this is your X, this is your Y, and these are having common neighbor. Means what? This is your X, Y. This is the common neighbor of X and Y. And if this is not the case, then this kind of the case will be there. Okay? Then these X and Y will be connected via the vertices of this one, right? The another part. X and Y will be connected by some path in G complement. That's why we got every two vertices are connected. Or the other thing you can just try. G is simple disconnected, means to say G has more than one part. Component I will discuss in next class. Okay, more than one part means more than one connected parts. This one is connected. Here also this one is connected. Okay. For U to V belonging to different parts. Obviously, these are disconnected. There is no path from here to here. U to V. Okay. So U to V is not an edge in G. So this will be an edge in G complement. And if you take any two elements U and V from here only, or X and Y from the same part of G, then these are adjacent to some V vertex in the other part of G. Okay, and from U to we can travel to V to this one, and that path will work as U to V connection. Okay, so that's why every two vertices you pick up from different parts or the same part. Okay, same part of G. These are connected. That's why G is connected. Clear? Are you getting or not? So that's it for today. Here we complete 1.1. I'll start 1.2 in next lecture. Okay. Do the assignment, question number 18. Thanks all. Are you have this class?
Yes, ma'am.